the distributive property. Now we're just going to talk about some examples of how to simplify expressions using the distributive property. First one, negative 3 times the quantity 4a plus b. So if I'm doing the distributive property, I'm going to just take them and multiply. Because this is like saying 3 times 4a plus b. So that's going to look like negative 3 times 4a plus negative 3 times b. Now the simplification of that problem will be negative 3 times 4, which is a negative 12, times a, so negative 12a, plus negative 3 times b, which we can just write as negative 3b. So therefore the final simplified answer is negative 12a minus 3b, and that is your final answer. For this next example, we have 4 plus x times the quantity 2y minus 3. So this time we remember our order of operations. We have to do our parentheses first, which is actually, and then we go to exponents, multiplication, and division. We have x times the quantity 2y minus 3. So that means that's where we're going to start, by distributing in the x. So we're going to have 4 plus x times 2y minus x times 3. And then when I simplify that part, I have 4 plus x times 2y. We would generally write that as the number first, and then our variables. So 2xy minus, write the number first, 3x. Now we want to write this in our proper simplified form, which we've already discussed, and that would be writing your variables first. So since we have this variable, the x, by itself, we're going to write negative 3x plus 2xy plus 4. And that would be your final answer. Alright, and the last example, we have 7z minus 3y plus z. Okay, so on this one, it's actually kind of tricky. You got to think, what is actually before the parentheses? What's before the parentheses is a negative 1. So I'm going to distribute in a negative 1. So what that's going to look like is 7z minus 3y minus 1 times z. Alright, and then our simplification, we have a 7z and a negative 1z. So 7 minus 1, and that's multiplied by our z, and then we subtract our 3y. So 7 minus 1 is 6z minus 3y. You can write it like this, and that is correct, or you can write it as negative 3y plus 6z. Either one of those is counted correct, so I don't care which you write. And those are your final answers. So those are your notes over the distributive property. Go through your practice problems so that you can do lots of different types of these problems where you use the distributive property and then simplify your equations. Then you should be ready for the quiz over this material.